AC. Put it 25 though. Another edition of Sheriff's Podcast. As you know, coming on to election season, there's about 14 days more left for elections, correct? Or yeah, 14 days more left for elections. And like we said, we are going to cover the night of the election. We're going to do an election marathon, and we are going to bring you live polling data as we get them. So you, the viewers, can see which party is ahead, which party is not ahead. We won't be able to tabulate the seats because only GCOM and will be able to tabulate the seats, right? But coming back to that, I want to continue my podcast from yesterday. And the reason I want to continue my podcast from yesterday, sorry guys, let me just take this and put it on the other hand. This is bothering me a little bit. The reason I want to continue my podcast from yesterday is that I was, as a patriotic Guyanese, as a patriotic person to my country, I was devastated. I was embarrassed. I don't have words to say what I felt yesterday when we had to take a quick break when my editor sent me the Maduro regime endorsed the win party. For me, that was the most hurtful part of this entire election. And here is why. As Guyanese, we should understand that, let me just move here a little bit here. As Guyanese, we should understand that we stand together on one issue. And the one issue we stand together on, whether you're Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese, Amerindian, Portuguese, and all 6 races, we all stand together that Essequibo belongs to Guyana. Now, when we have a party or a presidential hopeful or his father going to the Venezuelan embassy in Guyana and allegedly applying for visa, because as you know, as we can see the crowd today in Region 1, was it Maruca? Editor?
Yes, Region 1
Region 1 Maruca, I can count maybe about 100 persons there. Now, when PPP does a rally, you can't count. The head count is too much. So at the end of the day, I want to say to my viewers that the Win Party isn't going to win this election. They're nowhere close to even winning the election. They're nowhere close to winning more than 2 seats, 3 seats, I would say. Even that. And what they're going out there to do, you notice they're not really keeping rallies in Georgetown and Berbice and all these places. They're just keeping 1, 2, because at the end of the day, they know that the people aren't stupid. And I'm not saying that the people at Maruca are stupid. I'm just saying that they don't have access to information like people in Berbice and Georgetown and these things. They have to basically go get a Starlink connection from the village council and so on and so forth. I know these things because I go to these Amerindian villages a lot. But at the end of the day, he goes out to these communities that don't have the information, and misinformation in this election has been one of the major issues that is plaguing it. And I hope when the PPP wins, they can lobby Meta and TikTok and all of these other agencies to be fair to Guyana, not because we have 1 million people or less. We shouldn't be treated like the United States, where you could remember when Donald Trump was pulled off of Twitter and pulled off of Facebook and all of these things. That was in, I think, was the 2020 elections, right? We should be treated fairly as any country in the world. So, coming back to my point where I was disappointed, disheartened, because at the end of the day, it is, Essequibo belongs to us. It's our land. It's each and every single one of our Guyanese brothers and sister land. It belongs to me, it belongs to you, it belongs to the president, it belongs to the vice president, it belongs to the homeless man sleeping on Regent Street in the night, it belongs to our ancestors, and it's going to belong to our future kids. Now, when you're voting for a party that really comes and says, hey, your enemy, it's like you are siding now with your enemy just because you know that you cannot win. And it's alleged from the Mohammed's camp, the team Mohammed's camp, that he's going to claim victory on election night to create chaos in this country. But I can tell you this, I hope the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana military is ready to combat that situation, because that in 2025 we shouldn't let that happen. We should not let that happen. We should understand that, and let GCOM do its job. Let the commissioners at GCOMs, there's commissioner from the opposition, and there's commissioners from the current party, and then there's a break. There's Madam Claudette Singh, who is the tiebreaker. Am I correct, editor?
Yeah.
Good. So at the end of the day, let GCOM do its job. We will bring you live information. We will try to predict the election on election night, but again, we cannot promise that. But coming back to Win and Maduro, how can you side and how can you vote with a clear conscience a party that is siding to take over 3/4 of our land and all our resources? As most of our viewers know, that Essequibo and the Stabroek Basin is based on that trade zone. Forgot what it's called at this moment, but it is in that area, that trade zone area. What was it called? I can't remember it either. But yeah, there's an abbreviation for it. And so Essequibo now, that part of Essequibo that Venezuela is fighting for, is in that trade zone where the oil is, where Exxon is operating. As you remember, a few months ago, Venezuela warships had radio into those FPFSOs to ask them what are their location, what they're doing, so on and so forth, right? And then they were basically trying to threaten and intimidate the Exxon, well, not they, Exxon Mobil's or whoever's operating those FPFSOs. They were trying to intimidate them. Now, Marco Rubio, the current Secretary of State, clearly stated that they are not accepting any rogue, narco, or any overthrowing of any government regime in the Western Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere. So, one second, please. Basically, Marco Rubio, the current Secretary of State, said that he's not accepting that. Of course, that instructions came directly from President Trump. Now, as you know, Trump doesn't play around. Trump had a meeting in Alaska with the Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday, and Trump had his B-2 bombers, B-2 bomber flew over while he was walking President Vladimir Putin to take out a photo. And to explain to my viewers what a B-2 bomber is the most deadliest weapon, right, that is on this earth currently. Because it's a plane, it can fly unlimited hours with obviously refueling from the air. It is undetectable. It's like when you look at it, you think a bird is flying in the air, no matter how sophisticated your radar system is. So he doesn't mess around. So we are not worried about Venezuela. Yes, we're worried that Venezuela invade Guyana. We should be. Or invade Essequibo. Or as they call it, Essequibo, on when they were endorsing Mohammed. But we have the full support of the United States of America. We have, and the United States of America spends almost $1 trillion US per year. Approximately 1 trillion. That you cannot even understand what that is. That's many countries. I don't think Guyana GDP, Guyana has ever, for the life of Guyana, we have spent $1 trillion on our entire budgeted system since our anniversary. But nevertheless, that's what they spend yearly on their military, and they're going to back us up because they've put out a 50 million, they've raised the bounty on Maduro's head from 25 million US to now 50 million US for the capture or whereabouts of Maduro. Not because Trump gave a license to Chevron to export and do business means that he's now friends with Maduro. He's friends with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin backs Venezuela. But again, at the end of the day, one call President Trump have to pick up the phone and says, hey, please stay out of this, and that's it. Now, why am I telling you all of this unnecessary information? Is because a vote for win, wearing that blue shirt, is very unpatriotic. Wearing that blue shirt now says that you want to give away Essequibo, and that's a fact. It's a fact. You might not want to give away Essequibo. Your mind might not say that, but the party that you're voting for, or that you're thinking of going and voting for, that is what they're supporting. But we are not giving up a blade of grass. The PPP will win this election, and as I've told you over and over, I'm not a member of the PPP. I'm not a member of any list. I'm just a fan here to tell you the truth. After September 2nd or whenever election goes, this podcast is going to turn into a completely different podcast until the next election. But my point is to you here today is when you go in that polling box, right, you got to think about your future and what win party can do for you. And they can't do nothing. They even had one of their speakers last night praising the PPPC, right? Editor, can you send that video to so he can praising the PPPC for the roads, the buildings, the infrastructure, and all of these different things. So, and she's saying that if win wins, they're going to be vindictive There are going to be all sorts of things. You judge the video for yourself. I have nothing to say about that. I just found it extremely funny that that's the only truthful person that they have in their party. Now, I want to move on to, well, before I say this, I want to say this. Anyone who wears this blue shirt or who supports publicly or privately, who supports Team Mohammed, and you're not looking and I'm sure that you're educated enough to understand what we're trying to tell you. I'm not telling you to go out and vote for the PPP. I'm not telling you to go out and vote for the app. No, I'm not telling you to go out and vote for Win. I am telling you my view, my point of view, and what I have to say. But again, comes back to a vote for a Win party, in my opinion, and in my humblest opinion, is a vote of you give. He's already struck a deal with Maduro, allegedly, to either, if he doesn't win, he's gonna move there and seek asylum in the Venezuelan embassy. As everybody, I don't know who remember the Julian Assad story, when he's the guy who started Wikipedia and then countries are going after him. I don't know quite a lot about it, and he spent about 7 years in the Argentinian embassy in one of those countries. He actually lived there for 7 years, just not to be prosecuted because he was releasing information and doing a lot of nonsense. But again, that's my view. I cannot comment too much on that. Now let's move on to the topic of, I really still want to keep on this topic of, because it's so hurtful to see that a man is willing to give up 3/4 of his country to save himself, and understand that he's so selfish that he's striking backdoor deals, and he put out a Spanish, nothing's wrong with Spanish, the Espanol language, nothing's wrong with Spanish people, but Ghana is an English speaking country, right? And we need to respect that. You think you can go to Venezuela and put up Guyana and this and that? No, you can't do that. So he's hurting us. We are in the International Criminal Court of Justice to fight for our land. Again, like I said yesterday, Mohammed, would you like us to come and take 3/4 of your mansion? How would you feel about that? I am so upset. I'm so hurt. It's such a deceitful thing to do. He's done so much to hurt Guyana, but this is the most deceitful thing he has done ever. Now I want to get to the topic of Hannah Mohammed and the LGBTQ community. And I said this yesterday and I'm going to say it again. The LGBTQ people or persons, that's their choice. They cannot change who they are. They have to be what they want to be. At the end of the day, if you cut me, you cut Hannah, you cut Muhammad, you cut an LGBTQ person, it's the same red blood, it's the same organs we have. They just choose to live their life different. Why should you or any other party condemn them? Are they not people? Are they animals? Now, by me saying this, you can hear next thing I give. It's okay. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. I don't care anymore. Like I said, these are topics and people, I have a thick skin. I think after elections, I might continue with the progress of the country to show people, because I really don't care what they say anymore. I saw Francis Bailey today on a live or on a pre-recorded showing the Schoonard Road, those drain covers, and the drain covers were breaking apart. Now, of course, what do you expect, Francis? When you a new construction, for example, let me explain. Let me give you a little knowledge about something. When you build a house, a brand new house, there's always going to be defects. And if you don't know the procurement process, learn it. There is a defect period. If anything is defective in the work, which only the drain covers are defective, by the way. And what? 10 drain covers are defective. The contractor holds that right and responsibility of fixing it to the government's ability to say yes, they approve it. So you cannot come out and blame the Irfan Ali administration for the Schoonard, what you call it, drain covers. It's a couple of drain covers, buddy. Like the other day, I see Sherrod Duncan. I go to Lethem a lot, right? And I see the savannas. The man gonna stick himself in the mud, right? And then complaining that the government not doing enough for the savannah. Have you ever flew in through the entire savannah? Right now, as I can tell you, the entire savannah is flooded. You can't stand there. You go there, you sink down, just like you did. Sometimes you gotta say things that make sense to the Guyanese people. We're not stupid. And people who don't know the savannas, I fly a lot. So I know the savannas. Right now, the savannas is flooded. And on sunny times, it's dry as there will be fires all the way around. Right now, the savannas are flooded. So you go stick yourself in the mud and say, hey, the government not doing enough. How the government going to clear the entire savannah, buddy? It is absolutely nonsense. And yes, Francis Bailey, the government requires a bond, a security bond, and they hold back monies from the contractors for defects and liabilities. So, to clarify your point on that, stop going out and try to find things to bash the government about. Stop the nonsense now. Tell people facts. Tell people that the contractors have a liability period and the government doesn't pay them their full money. As you hear, Charan Das was granting a raving the other day that they hold back his retention money. A retention says exactly what it is. It's a retention money. So if there's any defects or liabilities, the government can either take that money and fix it, or you fix it, and when they're pleased with the work and another year has passed by, or another 6 months, I don't know what the defect liabilities on terms for that is or are, then they will release that money to you. So know your facts before you tell the people. Don't just come and say nonsense to people. Anyways, coming back to my next topic. And this is a very important topic, and I'll keep it short. I actually have a 3 o'clock meeting that they're probably calling my phone right now, but I'll be there very soon, very shortly, to my other office. A lot of people in 2020 and 2016 became complacent, and the word is complacency, but they became complacent in not going out and vote because they thought that their neighbors, their auntie, their uncle, man, they going to vote. You know, so today I'm not going to vote. But the PPPC need everyone to come out and vote who is planning and willing to vote for them. They need you and everyone to come out on that day to vote for them. Don't think, oh man, my cousin going, my girlfriend going to vote, I can skip this one out. It's not. The PPPC needs everyone who's willing, who wants to vote for them, to come out and vote on September 1st. And I'm asking you, the Guyanese public, do the right thing. Look around your surroundings and see the changes that has happened, and make the right choice. But the PPPC party needs every single voter now to come out. Do not stay home. Come out and vote for progress. Come out and vote for your future and your children's future. I want to say this. When you're voting on election day, make sure your X is in the PPPC regional and general election box. Make sure that your X is inside the box neatly. It's not touching the lines, or it's not outside the lines, or your vote wouldn't be counted. And in Guyana, every vote counts. My name is Amir Ahmad. I'm here to educate you about the different political things that are happening. I'm going to continue to educate you. Please, again, make your right decisions and do what's right for Guyana at this critical moment. Do not vote for a party that is trying to take away our territorial rights and trying to give away 3/4 of our land. That's all I have to say for today. I'll catch you on the next one.